And with the US presidential polls in the next 3 months, Democrats are targeting to win support of overseas voters from the swing states for party's presidential face, Kamala Harris. The Democratic National Committee will spend $300,000 in a first-ever push to register the 9 million Americans living abroad. And the funding for Democrats abroad, which represents Democrats living outside the United States, will be used to pay for voter registration drives and spread information about how to vote for overseas. Now, the efforts will be focused on Mexico and Europe, where the largest number of overseas Americans live. There are over 1.6 million Americans from the battleground states of Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. The swing states are crucial, be it for Harris or Republican former President Donald Trump to win the elections. When Biden beat Trump to win the 2020 presidency, he did so by a margin of only 44,000 votes, and that was across Arizona, Georgia and Wisconsin, all 3 swing states. The DNC has issued a statement, and I'm quoting from that. Only 8% of Americans living outside the country had registered to vote in the 2020 elections. This election will be won on the margins, and with only 3 months until the election, every vote matters, including the votes of those who are serving or living abroad. Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, toured multiple political battleground states last week. Remember, Harris has pulled ahead of Trump by 4 percentage points each in separate polls of voters in Wisconsin, Michigan and Pennsylvania, conducted by the New York Times and Siena College, something we got you yesterday. Now, this is a big change from polls in those swing states taken before Biden quit the presidential race last month. And to get us more, our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us on the phone line from New York. Susan, what is the latest you can tell us?
So it appears that the party is estimating that some 1.6 million Americans abroad are from those crucial battleground states this cycle, the ones that you just mentioned. And, you know, experts and operatives say that while this is a transient nature of voting age with expats, and it makes it very difficult to track who's who, but they're going based on the government data from 2020 presidential elections. They found 2 million people are either on active duty, military spouses, dependents, and then you have almost 3 million people who are non-military voting age U.S. citizens. And the DNC says because this race is going to be won on the margins, every single vote counts, and that's why they're targeting these individuals overseas. I remember we did report back in 2020 on Americans going to the embassies in different countries and voting, but, you know, they were never targeted the way that they're being targeted right now by the Democrats.
All right, Susan, thank you so much for getting us the latest from New York. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.